Salwete, this is lesson 19. We'll be doing lines 450 to 476 from book 6. And we've skipped over 24 lines in which Aeneas and the Sibyl see Minos, and he is judge of the dead, souls of the dead. He puts the dead into 5 classes: infants, those who were condemned to death under false accusations, suicides, those who died from love or for love, and great warriors. So among those who died for love, he spies Dido, and that's where our narrative picks up. Inter quas poenissa recensa vulnere Dido erabant silvin magna, qua Troius hero sut primum iuxta stetit agnovitque per umbras obscuram, qualem primo qui surgere mense aut videat aut vidisse putat per nubila lunam, demisse lacrimas dulci quad fatus amor est. Inter, among whom, this preposition goes with this accusative here, and the quas refers to the animas, quas animas, among which spirits. So supply that in your understanding. Among which spirits, subject, Phoenician Dido, erabat, was wandering. And recens also modifies this, Dido. Recent a vulnere, now this is an ablative here, from her wound, or fresh from her wound, as if she just died yesterday, we want to imagine here. Among what spirits, or among whom? Phoenician Dido, fresh from her wound, was wandering. In silva magna, in the large forest. Those go together, ablative of place where, and then this is an ablative, from her wound, ablative with the preposition a, ab. This is a third declension adjective, this is a first declension adjective, both modifying Dido, feminine singular nominative form. Quam Troius heros, whom the Trojan hero stood next to. So Trojan hero is now our subject, the Trojan hero, which is Aeneas, of course. Among whom, or no, sorry, not among, whom the Trojan hero, and then ut primum, as soon as he stetit iuxta, as soon as he stood next to her. So this is our verb, stood. It's perfect form from sto, stare, steti, staturus. This is stetit, perfect active form. As soon as he stood iuxta, and the iuxta goes with quam, next to her. So you could say, as soon as the Trojan hero stood next to her, and he agnowit, and you got to put in quam again, he recognized her, and then obscuram also goes with that quam. So these are connected. Let me connect them. This is connected to this quam here. They both refer to Dido. And he recognized her dim, we would say dimly, obscurely, through the shades. So this is our verb, and umbras is an accusative with per there, through the shades. And now we have a little simile here. Just like qui, one who, verb sees or thinks himself to have seen, at the primo mense, at the beginning of the month, the lunam, this is delayed to the end, the moon, to rise through the clouds. So this is, the idea is that when you see the new moon rising, or the moon rising at the beginning of the month, then it looks obscure, just like dim, it's hard to see, just like it was hard for Aeneas to see Dido. She was like a moon that was hazy in the sky, obscure, dim. So as soon as he did this and recognized her, and then we'll do all this, then we'll get to this last part of the sentence. So this little simile, let's take this and mark it up here. Just like he, qui, that's our nominative of this relative clause here, just like he who sees or thinks, and you got to put in se, himself, to have seen, and that's an indirect statement. Oh, and I notice you have out, so either sees or thinks himself to have seen, and now the object of these verbs is lunam, the moon, and now to rise in the primo mense, in the first month, meaning early in the month, or the first part of the month, per nubilia, and that goes with the per, through the clouds. One more time. Who sees or thinks himself to have seen, get the either or in there, the moon to rise in the beginning of the month through the clouds. He demisit lacrimas. He sends down tears, or he sent down tears, I should say. This is the perfect form from demito, demitere, demisi. He sent down tears, meaning he cried, and he ad fatus est, he spoke. And this is spoke right here, ad fatus est, those go together, from for fare, or ad fari. It's a deponent. So we translate it actively, even though it's a passive form, a perfect passive form here. And he spoke dulci amore, with sweet love. With sweet love. Vergil reminds us that Aeneas did, in fact, love Dido, and did not want to leave Carthage by letting us know it was sweet love that he spoke with. Notice that they're ablatives. It shows us how he spoke. And so it's an ablative of manner. And this is ablative third declension, so that's how we should do a noun in the third declension. And then this is an adjective in the third declension. In third declension adjectives, they end in an I rather than the E. Sometimes nouns end in I if they're an I stem, but for the most part, they usually end in E. Let's do this whole thing one more time. Among whom Phoenician Dido, fresh from her wound, was wandering in the large forest. This large forest makes it sound like she is very alone. We have the idea of solitude here. She's in this large forest. Whom the Trojan hero, as soon as he stood next to her and recognized her dimly through the shades, just like he who in the first of the month thinks, either sees or thinks himself to have seen the moon through the clouds, he sent down tears and spoke with sweet love. I'll go ahead and read it one more time in Latin. You can absorb it now that we've gone over the meaning. Inter quas poenissa recens a vulnere Dido erabat silvin magna, quam Troius eros ut primum iuxta stetit agnovitque per umbras obscuram, qualem primo qui surgere mense outvidisse putat per nubila lunam. Demisit lacrimas dulci quad fatus amor est.